And to other matters now, a pregnant woman and a 2-month-old baby are among victims who died when fire engulfed parts of a jetty in Port Harcourt. Eyewitnesses say that at least 10 persons lost their lives, while many more are still missing. Senior reporter Uche Okoro reports on this.
At one of the busiest terminals for traveling by water in Rivers State. It connects Port Harcourt metropolis to some coastal communities in the state and parts of neighboring Bayelsa State. But business has been brought to a halt following a tragic incident. The jetty allegedly went up in flames as some boat operators were offloading petroleum products suspected to have been stolen and illegally refined. And the presence of other flammable substances close by made the situation worse.
That fire will catch from local boat. The local boat float entered the speedboat. They started catching from the speedboat. That's what we are seeing here. If you assess the damage here, billions. We lost billions here.
Some passengers who slept in the boats after arriving late at night at the jetty were lucky to escape unhurt. At least 10 others died from fire burns and drowning as they tried to escape. Eyewitnesses are certain that the death toll could be much higher, especially as the search for missing persons continues.
We pick up about 5 children this morning. Children. And even you are here, you should have captured them. We will not drop them here. Look, if you sight across, you will see one sick, they pin there. Dead body. That is it. A lot are still beneath the water.
As I just dey inside the boat, I be dey sleep. My wife just get up, just call me. As she call me, now I run go the back. I tell them, make them follow me, run go the back. They no run come, they run go the front. And they run go the front, me I jump enter inside water for the back. I no can't see them again. Since last night, now I no see them.
The souls we don't go here this morning now, even the ones where we don't pick out, so they try to bring out this engine the way born. We don't pick so many. Not be the ones that will die for night where we park keep here.
As the boat owners count their losses, they also try to salvage what they can from what is left of their source of livelihood. They also hope the government would be more proactive in preventing or responding to such emergencies, as this is the second fire outbreak here in the last 6 months. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngige has met with the committee mandated to renegotiate the 2009 federal government agreement with ASUU. The chairman of the committee, Nimi Briggs, relayed the extent of work done so far, but lamented that he met with stumbling blocks. The minister listed the many efforts of government to make the striking university teachers see reason and call off the nearly 2-month-old industrial action. He insists that the government does not have the needed funds to meet all the demands of the union.
Government is slow on reacting to their various issues. They took time to talk about the fact that this document had been submitted to government since May last year, and up till now, government had not done anything about it. Government did promise that they were going to put together an interministerial committee, and that within a period of a fortnight, the interministerial committee was going to be in a position to sort out all the contents of the document. And that up till now, nothing.
We had the information that there were areas of disagreement as this was being compiled. Nothing wrong with that. It's a negotiation. You don't get everything 100%. But I told ASUU and I told education, if you have areas of disagreement, put up your committee to go back. But before then, education has to, in-house, in their Department of Tertiary Education, and with the National University Commission, look at it.
And now to curbing environmental losses. The gradual loss of important ecosystem in there and other service related to it has a detrimental effect on the planet and can result in large-scale environmental crisis. if not properly curtailed. To this end, the 2022-2026 National Strategy on Combating Wildlife and Forest Crimes has been launched by the federal government to address the situation. Kemi Balogun has the details.
More than 1,800 species of animals and about 4,600 species of plants are under serious multiple threats, pushing them to the verge of extinction in Nigeria. This is why the federal government is launching the national strategy to combat wildlife and forest crime. The strategy will, among other things, tackle wildlife and forest crime, as well as achieve sustainable forest management that will also address climate change.
In our collective effort to implement the national strategy to combat wildlife and forest crime in Nigeria, 2022-2026. Our concerted efforts to combat transnational and domestic wildlife crime by enhancing institutional capabilities, strengthen legal framework to deter wildlife, promote alternative livelihoods, etc., cannot come at a better time than now.
In recent years, Nigeria has evolved into a primary transit hub for trafficking in illicit wildlife products from Eastern and Central Africa. According to the UNODC World Wildlife Crime Report 2020, Nigeria has less than 1% of Africa's elephants. Yet, between 2015 and 2019, the country was the leading source of elephant tusk seizures, accounting for 23% of global seizures.
The illegal activities associated with these environmental crimes are enormously damaging to the natural world, and thus to us humans.
The effective implementation of the document remains a priority at all levels in order to reverse the negative trend of social, political, and economic impacts of wildlife crime in Nigeria.
Effective implementation is possible only if and when state governments adopt the strategy as part of their critical policy framework.
The document has the potential to facilitate reduction in the rate of wildlife and forest crime in Nigeria and to also tackle environmental degradation and biodiversity loss. The need to set up a wildlife specialized crime unit within the police force has been requested. This is in order to reduce the frequency of wildlife and forest crimes. Kemi Balogun, TVC News, Abuja.
And now to the war against drug peddling. In Osun State, the Nigeria Customs Service Area 1 Command has handed over cannabis sativa worth more than 100 million naira to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in furtherance of the synergy between the two agencies. The Comptroller of the Customs presented the seized items to the Commander of the NDLEA at Customs Command, Abeokuta. TVC News' Kazim Olowe reports.
As men of the Nigeria Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command intensify efforts against smugglers, more achievements are being recorded in the area of economic protection and prevention of illicit drugs into the country. This time, the customs seized more than 319 sacks and more than 400 wraps of book-sized packaged cannabis sativa. The comptroller noted that the command will continue to do its work diligently and partner sister agency in ensuring that they protect the economy of the country.
In line with respect for each agency's statutory functions and in order to further strengthen the synergy between Nigerian Customs Service and NDLEA, the Ogun 1 Area Command of Nigerian Customs Service, with the approval of Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Ahmed Ali Ibrahim, retired, hands over intercepted cannabis sativa of 319 sacks, raw, 476 wraps book size, and 96 wraps coconut size, with duty paid value of 120,848,768 naira only to NDLEA Ogun State Command.
The NDLEA commander, who was appreciative of the efforts of men of the Nigeria Customs Service, described the seizure as a very huge one and called for more collaborative efforts.
This is a very huge seizure. Well, this is not the first time Nigeria Customs Service has been assisting NDLEA and Nigeria in general
without the assistance of the custom here, honestly, we could have been in trouble in Ogun State from all these things coming in from the border, across the border. But I believe with the manpower and resources that the custom has, it's making our work much, much easier. Yes, in removing these substances from circulation.
The officials of the NDLA later carried out tests on the content of the sacks and confirmed it to be cannabis sativa before they commenced loading of the seized items to their office. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
And away from criminal acts now to how the Nigeria Governors Forum is making efforts to attract more foreign investment into the country. This is to help the 36 states grow their economies in the face of dwindling oil revenue. 14 governors were in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates to woo investors to their states with hopes it will improve their local economy. Senior reporter Femi Akonde has details.
More than 1,000 business leaders, government officials, academics and entrepreneurs are discussing ways to strengthen global partnership, entrepreneurship, innovation and investment opportunities for the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Nigeria also has a seat at the table, as officials of 14 state governments are in Dubai to seek investments that will grow their local economy and create wealth.
So we're not after companies who want to trade in Nigeria. We're after countries who want to come and invest in Nigeria and establish factories in Nigeria, provide jobs for our people, and ensure that we can do a lot of things that will make our GDP to be bigger than whatever it is now.
State delegations are already talking to investors. If this engagement is fruitful, they may not be bothered about the slash in the monthly revenue allocation.
We have 3 core specific areas that we're trying to attract investors in our state. And number 1 is the rice value chain. You know, Enugu State is an agrarian community, and given the new policy in Nigeria on growing what we eat, we thought that if we go outside the shores of Enugu State, that we'll be able to get investors who would come and also help us to expand on the frontiers of the rice value chain.
To attract foreign direct investment comes at a cost. The governor of Niger State says government must be willing to pay the price. His state is seeking an investment portfolio of $184 million that targets the value chain in the agricultural processing industrial zone.
I think first of all we need to secure the environment. We need to invest more and do more when it comes to security. The ease of doing business is good almost everywhere in Nigeria. I've advised them to get more information on how to process a certificate for capital imputation so that when they bring in their capital, they won't have difficulties repatriating it back to their various countries.
This face-to-face meeting between governors and investors is a product of a month-long interaction between Governor of Ekiti State and Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi, and Ambassador Abdallah, who has ensured strong business conglomerates in the United Arab Emirates consider Nigeria as the next investment destination. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
Now, the Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, has urged the media to continue sensitizing the populace on the importance of having their permanent voter cards as the 2023 election approaches. The Emir made the plea during a meeting with heads of media organizations in Kano at his palace. Kano State correspondent Ibrahim Isa reports on this.
The period of electioneering campaigns and elections are slowly approaching, but the electorate need permanent voter cards to exercise their franchise. In Kano, like many other Nigerian states, the voter registration is not yet closed. Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, feels residents, especially those who have attained the age of 18, need to take the exercise seriously. During a meeting with heads of media outfits in Kano, the Emir called on residents to join hands in voting for credible leaders come 2023. We invite you for this meeting because of your importance to the society. We need massive voter sensitization on radio, TV, and on digital media platforms. Chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Kano, Abbas Ibrahim, who accompanied the media heads, expressed joy at the comment of the Emir and pledged to work alongside members of the media to disseminate information that would help in the success of the voter registrations.
The Emir called this meeting to sensitize the media chiefs and other stakeholders on the need for awareness creation towards the voter register, which there is apathy in Kano.
The Emir will also meet with civil society organizations, amongst others, until the desired goal of sensitizing the public is achieved. Ibrahim Isa, TVC News, Kano.
Still talking election matters, local government polls have been held across the 34 local government areas of the state despite the initial delay in the deployment of electoral materials witnessed in some parts. Voters in clusters exercised their franchise at designated centers across over 4,000 polling units. Abdulatif Yusuf reports.
Accreditation of voters and voting started late at most of the centers across the state. This will not be unconnected to the need to avoid traveling at late hours with the election materials due to security reasons. This mega polling station in Katsina metropolitan area witnessed a large presence of youth and other voters eagerly waiting to cast their votes.
We are scared of this election, and we are determined that this election must hold if all the requisites are on ground. If the requisites are not on ground, then there will be no election. We are willing to die for this.
The complaint made at various centers were similar in nature, contributing to the voting commencing late, but the exercise went without a hitch. In parts of the Ora zone, there was large turnout of voters and the election went smoothly in most centers visited. In Katsina Central Zone, which is known with security issues, a few security issues were reported as unknown gunmen tried to disperse voters in Basari and Jibia local governments.
Because there's about the 9 local government areas that are being affected by these bandits, they are still in existence. There's not any change, there's not any improvement on the security in that very particular area. And even we journalists, I doubt if we are going to reach that very particular area because we consider that area as hard-to-reach areas by journalists because we cannot risk our life to go there.
The state government responded to some of the allegations that came from the polling centers.
Actually brought the delay, well, like I say in Hausa, the PDP organized thugs in most of these places to ensure that election materials from the local government headquarters to ward do not reach this ward in time. We had to work with the security agencies to ensure that they were able to disperse these thugs.
While elections were hitch-free in most part of Funtua Zone, there was a viral video showing some youth burning some of the voting materials in Bakwari local government area. Abdulatif Yusuf, TVC News, Katsina.
And now to security matters. At least 39 kidnap victims have regained their freedom in Zamfara state. The victims, who have been in captivity since March and April this year, were rescued by police tactical operatives at Daba Magaji camp in Bungudu and Maru local government areas of the state. 10 other suspects involved in different crimes, including members of the outlawed local vigilante group, were also arrested. Theophilos Darufai reports on this.
The kidnapped victims arrived for a police command headquarters Monday morning. They were rescued Sunday night by troops at Dabar Magaji camp near Kadanya Forest in Kauranamuda local government. Some of them looked unhealthy due to what they passed through while in the hands of their captors for almost 2 months. Addressing newsmen in Gusau, the Zamfara State Commissioner of Police Ayuba Kano says the successes recorded were as a result of the search and rescue operation carried out by troops of the command. Among the victims are 8 men, 15 females, 16 children, and nursing mothers.
Police tactical operatives on clearance operation have rescued 39 kidnapped victims who were abducted in March and April early this year, 2022. The achievement was as a result of the ongoing clearance operation by the military at Dabar Magaji camp, located at Katsina Forest.
10 other suspects involved in different crimes were also arrested by joint security operatives at different locations. 3 persons were also arrested in connection with the abduction of 2 persons in Fakon Idi area of the Zamfara local government, while a suspected car thief and 4 members of the outlawed vigilante group known as Yensake were arrested.
Police in Gusau Central Police Station received information from Bauchi State that the above-mentioned suspect involved in a minor vehicle accident at a point before Ganjua local government of Bauchi State with the above-named vehicle that was stolen at the residence of one Osman Shehu of Anturi area, Gusau local government area. Police detectives moved to Bauchi State and arrested the suspect along with the vehicle. A locally fabricated pistol was recovered inside the stolen vehicle.
Items recovered from the suspects include locally made guns, motor vehicle, operational motorcycles, knives, and other weapons. The rescue of these kidnapped victims is coming less than 24 hours after another set of kidnapped victims of the Kaduna-Abuja train attack were seen in a short video released by the abductors, calling on government to come to their rescue. Theophilus Darufai, TVC News, Gusau.
And still on security, Commissioner of Police in Osun State, Olawale Olokode, has assured that those behind the assassination of the chairman of All Progressives Congress in one of the local governments there, Chief Benga Obara, will be arrested and prosecuted. Mr. Olokode visited the scene of the assassination and addressed journalists. Correspondent Rafiu Hamid reports.
His first port of call is Wesley Guild Hospital in Ilesha, where the remains of the deceased is deposited. Sympathizers, including members of the APC, were seen. From there, the Commissioner of Police was led to the scene of the crime in Igaga by leaders of the party. Here, the mood is sober. It was discovered that Benga Obara was shot through the window and blood stains could be seen on the floor.
This is unfortunate. About 4 weeks ago, I raised a motion in the House concerning the security situation in my constituency. At least, Atakumosa is one of the pathetic areas which I raised then.
They want the CP to fortify the area.
We want him to increase the number of men in these houses and make sure they fortify this area to give them appropriate, adequate security. Not this town alone, but these houses.
This thing is very pathetic. It's painful. We don't want this type of things to reoccur again.
Incident shows that Benga Ogbara had been on the watch list of his killers for a long time. In 2019, he escaped assassination in his house behind me, and the house was burnt down. He had since moved to his brother's house, where he was killed last night.
The eldest son of the deceased believed the incident could have political undertone.
By calculation, the governorship election is also around the corner. So one could deduce that it might be a political calculation that when it's being eliminated, the stronghold will fall apart.
Olawale Olokode assures of thorough investigations into the matter.
I have assured the people that we shall carry out the investigation to the last to ensure that the perpetrators of this crime do not go unpunished.
One of the children of the deceased, who also sustained gunshot wounds, is being treated in the hospital. Meanwhile, the state government has condemned the unfortunate incident with an assurance that the deceased will not die in vain. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Igaga, Osun State.